So yes, we are starting a new project today, and it is called Persuasive Technology. Okay, we're going to be looking at the information age, which we're living in now. We're going to be looking at the past and how technology in the past changed the world, and how it is still impacting us today. We have a journal entry kind of reflecting on and thinking about how information technology impacts teenagers. And then I'm going to continue those individual Google meetings with students that have not turned in their presentation, and we'll look at that in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is go to that entry document assignment. So if you scroll down, you'll see this new project here, Persuasive Technology. The dates are really wrong on that, so but that's okay. It doesn't matter. But the Persuasive Technology project, if you click on that, you should just see a couple of things in there. And that first one is the entry document assignment. We have done these multiple times now in this class. I am counting this as a knowledge and thinking grade. So it is very important that you get this done. This is not just a small little agency grade. This is a knowledge and thinking grade. So I need to see that you are able to take the concepts of knows and need to knows and be able to find those in the writing, okay? So knows are things in a project that you already know and don't need to figure out. So you're going to highlight those in green. We've done this before. And then you're going to highlight in red things in a project that you have a question about and need to do research on, think about, or ask questions about, okay? So on the Google Doc, that is the template down below, you're going to highlight the knows in light green and the need to knows in light red. We've done this before. And then on the second page, you're going to go down and you're going to write your knows and your need to knows for the project. You're going to kind of make those into statements, okay? So that is due today. So let's look at that entry document together. So I'll give you all a second to open up that template, and then we will read it together. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to make sure everybody's able to open that up and get that in front of them. Should look like this: 14 News, Persuasive Technology Project. Open. All right, so we're going to read this together, and you can go ahead and start kind of highlighting and making notes. If you want to, highlight in green and red, you get the drift. So, So, it says, today we live in a modern era known as the information age. This era can be described as a time in which society utilizes computers and digital files to spread information at an extremely high rate and volume. The improvements to the information technology industry has transformed all aspects of society, including the way we interact with each other, our culture, the way we learn, govern, and how we understand science. These changes in modern society can be traced back to the dramatic changes brought on by the invention of the printing press during the Renaissance. Now, before we go forward, everybody listen to this. Before we go forward, I want you to note that it's talking about, when it says new technology, it's talking about information technology, okay? Information technology is different from all technology. So we're not talking about like air conditioners and toilets and, we're kind of talking about television, but we're not talking about like things that make our life easier as far as like cars and, roads and, those kind of refrigerators. We're not talking about that kind of technology. We're specifically talking about information technology, okay? Information technology. Who can speak up and give me an example of what's information technology?
Libraries.
Okay, if you can go to the library and get information from the library, that's a technology, or what's at the technology, or what's at the library that we can use to get information?
Google.
Okay, Google, the internet, okay? That is information technology. What's another type of place where you can get information? We talked about this kind of at the beginning of the class a little bit. Where's a place that some of y'all get your information?
Google. School.
Google, school. What other internet resources do you get information from?
Wikipedia?
Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Good, Wikipedia. Hold on, sorry.
News.
The news, good. Yeah, and You need to be back in 5 minutes, okay? Go. Yes, Wikipedia. What about social media? What type of social media information technology is out there and available to you all?
Twitter, Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram, what else?
Facebook.
Facebook. So this is what we're
Snapchat.
talking about. What was the last one?
Snapchat.
Snapchat, yep. So these are all information technologies that are new to us in the information age and are changing. So that's what we're thinking about when we're reading this, okay? We're not talking about like air conditioners and cars and things like that. We're talking about where we get information. Good, let's keep reading. 14 News has teamed with OIA to examine the impact that information technology has had on the past and how it is impacting us today. In the past, new technology and ideas were introduced during the Renaissance, and people's view of the world changed. We must examine past movements, the Renaissance, scientific revolution, Reformation, and Enlightenment to better understand how new information technology can impact the future. At the height of the Renaissance, William Shakespeare wrote one of his most famous plays, Romeo and Juliet. The play examines how misinformation can have drastic consequences. Today, we are bombarded with technology and information that society must interpret as truth or misinformation. OIA will investigate the impact of technology on misinformation and whether advancements in information technology has had a positive or negative impact on students. 14 News has tasked us to create a podcast/newscast and investigate the positive or negative impacts of information technology on students. By utilizing the elements of a persuasive paper, students will defend their position on the impact of information technology on students. We will record and submit podcast/newscasts to 14 News. Okay? You will record your knows and need to knows on the next page. So on that second page is where you'll do your knows and need to knows. Okay? So what's the big question that we're asking in this project? Somebody kind of rephrase, what's the big question we're asking?
I was gone for a bit, but from what I heard when I got back is that we're asking if technology for younger children is good or bad.
Yeah, for teenagers in particular. So kind of like that, like older middle schooler up to high schoolers, all the way through high school. Is information technology good or bad for teenagers? So let's step away from the entry document. You're going to come back to that and do your knows and need to knows. And I want you to take this poll. We kind of practiced one earlier. And I'm curious and don't answer. Does it show you how people answer before you answer? Or does it only show it after you answer? Do you know what I'm saying?
After, I think.
Okay, good. I don't want it to impact your answer. And it will not show specifically what you said. It will just show how the class feels right now. Okay, I'm kind of curious.
It's saying that there's no polls.
I'm about to launch it. Okay, I'm launching it right now. Okay, so the poll just went up. To get to the poll, you go to the top of your page, go to that triangle, square, circle, and then you go to polls. I'm not going to click it on it right now because I'm sharing my screen and I don't want you all to see it. So I'm going to give you all like 30 seconds. And basically it's asking, do you think that information technology has had a positive or a negative impact on students? Or on, not students, but on teenagers. So we're talking like 8th grade up to senior year. So your group right now. So I'm going to give you a minute to look at that and answer. I'll be right back. That should have been enough time. Let's take a look at what the poll says. All right, we're pretty evenly split, 13-9. We got 22 votes. We got 30 people in the, I'll take out a couple for Miss Stockdale and I, but a few of y'all did not vote. So we're kind of split, 16 votes for positive impact on teenagers and 9 votes on negative impact. So pretty split, a little bit of a lead for positive impact. Good to know. So that is what we're really discussing. And when we look at the past, we're going to be looking at how the printing press really impacted history. And then we're going to look at how technology today is impacting us today. So your first goal today is to go and annotate for those need to knows or knows and need to knows. Let me go ahead and show you what you're going to do after you do that. So the second thing you're going to do, so there's 2 assignments today. The second one is your journal number 1. We're going to be doing journals throughout this project, and you're going to have a question, basically what the poll question just asked. Do you think it's positive or negative? And if you go back into our project, it's just called journal number 1, and it's pretty straightforward. But it says, in the drop box below, please write a 1-paragraph response, a minimum of 4 sentences. 4 sentences. Don't write 1 sentence. You're not going to get credit for, you're going to get very little credit for 1 sentence to the prompt provided. Basically the same question we've been asking. So just without looking at anything, just off the top of your head, your opinion, you're not researching this, just off your top of your head, do you believe that information technology, including news networks, social media, the internet, etc., has had more of a positive or negative impact on teenagers? Make sure to explain your thoughts with examples. So talk about social media, talk about the news, give me examples. You can even talk about your own life. I won't share these with anyone else. But if you think it's positive, why do you think it's positive? If you think it's negative, why do you think negative? 4 sentences. Also, make sure to use correct spelling, proper grammar, correct punctuation. You do have a written communication grade in this, so I'm looking for those correct spelling, proper grammar, correct punctuation, because written communication is 25% of your grade, so make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. And we're just writing this right into the Dropbox that's provided for you, okay? So those are the 2 things I need you to do today. Now, I'm also continuing to meet with students, okay? And you'll see that we are still having the individual Google Meet meetings with students who did not turn in their presentation. And it's the same thing as yesterday. If you look at this link here, I'm meeting with Aiden, Cadence, Austin, Kaiden, Justin, Haiti, Erica, Allen, Caleb, and Hayden today because I didn't get to meet with them yesterday, okay? So my first meeting starts at 10:40. You need to look at when your meeting time is. If I met with you yesterday or you on the list yesterday, I kind of copy and paste that down below. I marked out all the students that got their work done, but I'm still expecting to meet with these other students, but continue to work on what is assigned to you today, okay? Any questions before I let you all go? Oh, wait.
I do have.
Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I need you to do one other thing. Sorry. I need you all to fill out the attendance. So I just put it into the Google Chat section of the Google Meet. So if you go up to the top and hit that little Chat with Everyone button, you will have that link right there. Go ahead and click that link and do the attendance. Click on 3rd/4th. All right, Alan, I'm ready to meet with you right now, right as soon as this meeting's over. So you and I can meet right now, okay? So just hang on, stay in the meeting afterwards, and we'll meet, okay? And if anyone else is in that situation, talk to me. But 11:05 is still my class time. I have you guys until 11:25, so we'll talk about why that time doesn't work. But everyone should be clicking on that link in the Google Chat so I know who participated today, so I can see that. And, you know, if you're just sitting here and you're not paying attention and you just logged in, I don't count you as participating. You gotta log into that Google Doc or that Google form that I just put in there and answer that you were present and that you participated. All right, so what questions? Huh? Okay, hit the little circle with the camera. What questions did y'all have? You said you had questions.
For the entry document, I have my knows and need to knows highlighted, but I can't find like where the dotted lines are to put knows and need to knows.
So it should be on the second page. Keep scrolling down. Do you see it on the
There is
second
no
page?
second page.
Yeah, for mine, it doesn't have a second page.
Okay, just make a second page. Just click down there. I don't know why that's happening. That's really weird. Anybody else have issues or any questions?
Yeah, I got a question on this, the entry document.
Uh-huh.
What you were reading was different from what I was reading on my page.
Really? Some of the words
Yeah,
were
mine's
different?
got a bunch of I middles and not 14 newses. What just came in?
Mine had I middle and OI.
Yes, so
Okay.
did mine.
So one thing
Mine-
that did change from last year is that we ended up working with iMiddle, but we're not going to do that this year. Okay, that's probably what happened, is that you guys are just seeing the wrong one. So let me go into Echo and fix that.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
how many no's and need to knows do we need to have?
Okay, so listen up, everybody.